The Anthropic S-1 filing is the biggest structural signal this week, and it's worth parsing carefully. According to reporting, Anthropic has confidentially filed with the SEC, targeting a valuation in the neighborhood of $965 billion. That's the number being circulated. What's more interesting from an operator standpoint, sell-side analysts are already projecting IPO pricing in the 1.6 to 1.8 trillion range on day one. I want to be direct about this. The S-1 itself hasn't been public yet, so we're working from reported figures, not verified disclosures. But if those numbers hold, we're looking at a capital markets event that would fundamentally reshape how the industry thinks about AI infrastructure valuation. Watch how the actual filing moves those projections when it becomes public. The sell-side numbers often compress significantly under real disclosure scrutiny. On the deployment front, OpenAI is signaling a deliberate push into Africa. They're expanding the ChatGPT Go low-cost tier while simultaneously building partnerships. The Gates Foundation, Penda Health in Kenya, the Nigeria Academy, and participation in the Addis Forum. This isn't venture-scale experimentation. This looks like infrastructure positioning in regions where margin-efficient deployments matter structurally. The implication for builders is straightforward. If ChatGPT Go becomes the standard entry point in emerging markets, the competitive surface for local AI deployment shifts. NVIDIA's credit picture deserves attention. Early reports indicate that NVIDIA's credit spreads have compressed to levels typically associated with sovereign debt, essentially suggesting the bond market now prices NVIDIA's creditworthiness on par with U.S. government bonds. If that assessment is accurate, it's a remarkable statement about capital market confidence in the company's competitive moat and cash generation. But verify this independently. Spread compression can be driven by flows rather than fundamental repricing. This could shift if competition tightens or utilization expectations drop. In the content layer, a few signals worth tracking. An AI-generated video placing Luke Skywalker on the Jerry Springer Show reportedly circulated with 665 reshares in the filmmaking community. That's a small number in absolute terms, but it's notable because it demonstrates that AI video models are now generating convincing blends of iconic characters in incongruous cultural contexts, which will matter for licensing and content ownership conversations. Separately, Dreamina added a feature to disable AI watermarks in generated videos via account settings. This removes a friction point for commercial use. The operational implication, watermark removal as a default setting, lowers barriers for professional adoption, which will likely accelerate volume and force other platforms to follow. Watch whether Anthropic's S-1 accelerates competitor IPO timelines, whether OpenAI's Africa partnerships generate measurable deployment velocity in those regions, and whether NVIDIA's credit premium holds through the next earnings cycle. Those confirmations would validate the structural signals we're seeing this week. That's your AI automation research briefing for Tuesday, June 2nd, 2026. Stay sharp. I'll see you next time.